Hello, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to another episode of your Daily Armor. This is Gerritt Bake, your situational expert. And today we're going to have a really cool topic, the wind. Why do I care how windy it is today? So sit back, relax, and off we go. Guns. You may like them, you may not like them, but there's something real special about them, right? The look, the feel, the smell of gunpowder, the sensation of hot brass on your neck. That's right, if you've ever been to a range next to somebody and they shoot around and that brass gets you in the neck, not a feeling you will ever forget. It's kind of a lovely thing. Not really. So I didn't grow up around guns. My mother, she hated guns. My father, who was in the military for 35 years, didn't have one either. The closest I got to shooting a gun growing up was a .22 rifle at Boy Scout camp. And I really didn't think much about it until I became a cop. It was kind of humorous. During the police academy, my range instructor used to comment on how bad my shooting was. But he said, don't worry, at least we don't have any bad habits to break. I was like, gee, thanks. I did end up getting my expert marksman rating with my handgun, so that was cool. See, when I first started on SWAT, I got a rifle. An AR-15 rifle. I was one of the first ones to get issued these rifles. They didn't have them as much as they do today. But in order to use this rifle, I had to go through rifle school, a certification process. It was a week-long course. And for those of you who had the privilege of carrying a rifle, you know how comforting it is to have that tool with you. So the first couple of days were spent in the classroom, and then onto a range. But from 50 yards and closer, right? 50 yards in and closer. I started to get pretty comfortable, right? I was hitting the target pretty consistently. Then our instructor moved us back to 200 yards. All of a sudden, I was not hitting the target anymore. What the hell? I was aiming for the center mass, trying to hit the target, but I wasn't hitting it. How come? So then the instructor, of course, there's always a lesson. He stopped us and started to talk to us about windage and elevation. I had no idea what he was talking about. He then proceeded to give us a lesson. As much as we all would like to think that the earth is flat, it is not. Shocking. Yes, I know. Because of the curvature of the earth, as we increase distance, there needs to be an adjustment for windage and elevation. It really was an amazing lesson. Also, I learned about wind. And believe it or not, wind can influence the trajectory of a round. It's not just easy, right? It's not just point and shoot. So after taking into account these things that the instructor had shown me, I was able to, once again, hit the target consistently, right? So you guys all do this, right? You're getting ready for work. You make sure that everything's good to go, right? You check your car, make sure, it's got gas, like all those things. Because the last thing you want to do is be unprepared for work, right? But preparing for everything else in your life is the same thing. So you're preparing for a race, it's the same thing. If you're preparing for, your date night with your wife, if you're preparing for that big job interview, like the last thing we want to do is make sure that we are unprepared. See, if you take time to make sure that all your weapons, right, are zeroed in, then your chance of success goes through the roof. Now, when we talk about weapons, what are we talking about? Obviously, I'm not talking about every night you need to take your weapon out, your handgun, clean it, and put it in the closet and show your wife how pretty it looks. No, that's not what I mean, right? Weapons are something that we can use to give us an advantage. That's what a weapon is. And used correctly, right, it gives us a huge unfair advantage. Now, I want you to think of what weapons you have in your life that you can use to give you a more unfair advantage. See, what I use is something called the core 4 and the stack. The core 4 centers around these areas that we've been talking about, body, being, balance, and business, right? But what I do is every morning I have 1 hour, one complete hour, and during this hour I spend time in each of these areas. I spend time connecting with my body. I spend time connecting with God. I spend time connecting with my wife and my kids. And I spend time preparing something or learning something about my business. So in 1 hour, I've already connected with all the important things in my life. which means when the day comes and inevitably the trials and the tribulations and the obstacles appear, I am way more prepared for it. The other thing I have is something called a stack. What is a stack? A stack is very simple. A stack is a process that allows me to take a negative situation or a trigger and eventually extract a lesson or a gift, something that I can then use to apply to my life. Now, this is not the place where I explain those things in depth, right? But this is where I want you to understand that there are weapons that exist out there that will help you, one, become a better person, but two, set you up for preparation to succeed, right? To give you that unfair advantage. So ask yourself, where in your life have you used a weapon, if you will, to set yourself up for success? That you've prepared for a certain thing. Because preparation is the unlock code for success, right? We all want success in life. How many of us are willing to do what it takes to get success, which is prepare, right? Do the work. All right, well, that's it for today. I need you to do a couple of things. One, like and share this. Follow us and comment. I love little comments. Two, go to Instagram and Facebook at Warrior Guardian. Follow us. We got some really cool stuff going on over there. And three, stay safe. And we will see you on the next one.